know which one is the pig. Kidding.
Don't worry, Bristle. I'll leave you the scraps.
Get
back. Looks can be deceiving.
Menjek a jó torra.
Keep your eye on the coins, folks. We may see an upset.
Hands off my meal!
Interesting.
Embrace the cosmos.
Are all summoners so weak?
Hmm.
I know it is you. Show yourself to me. Not Draven, Draven.
Okay. Let's see what we have.
Looks can be deceiving.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I need Pandora, please. Pandora's, please. Oh my god. Oh my god. Need Pandora's. Oh my god, ecco. Aspetta, insomma, ecco. I need what I need. Okay. Okay, I need tankiness. Tankiness. Yes, sir. Tariq is good. Tariq is good. Better if I put there. Shit here. Long shot here and here. Fucking hell. Oh, pain. Please. Okay. Not bad. Tariq is not bad. Graciano Chavez. Let's go. Graciano Chavez. He's down. Batches. Oh, I need music. Music. Yeah.
Looks like a mountain phantom.
How are you holding up,
Oh.
Administrator?
Out of my hands off my wheel!
Animal, step forward, Administrator.
Not Draven. Drave. Shake the pillars of heaven.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay. Jinzo on Draven. I can drop this shit. Put on. Oh, shit. Okay. Maybe this would help. Can help. God. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Finally. Raven popping off. Raven is popping off. Echo tree. Nice. Please, Draven popping off.
Fight so differently, Scion. You're like, and I'm like, nom, nom, nom. You know?
Noxus.
Rome lives another day. Embrace the cosmos.
Oh no. Okay. This shit here. Okay. Here. 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 And here. Oh, I need to live one. Okay. Okay. Well, this game is fucked. Fucking 3 random emblem at the start. Yeah, always lose the games with that. Shit. What the fuck is going on?
Tonight's the night to let it go.
training. The lands may falter, but you must not.
Nice.
For my father, the king. The king's spear obeys.
Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. Dark one. I just don't cry. No. Nice. Could be good, but dark one. Fuck. It was nice. It was nice. god.
Not Draven. Drave. For Demacia.
Ah. Oh, okay. Oh my god.
Freljord awakens.
Uh, Finally.
Stand against them. I will lead the charge. Your name is your oath, Crown Guard, and both are
Bazd meg! Aurelian's soul.
My stars shine for all.
Fuck this shit.
The cold does not forgive.
Keep faith in yourself.
Yes.
Good to see you again, old friend.
I need Taric 2 or this shit. Why is he hitting my fucking Aurelian so?
First light approaches. Follow no false light. The cold does not forgive.
Oh no. Please no. Fucking hell. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah. Okay.
Disputing the video, that that's what happened.
That's why we investigate.
Well, with respect, you say that's why we investigate, but you're also drawing other conclusions that sort of fly in the face of waiting for an investigation. I just want to also go back to what I was asking about with regard to what Secretary Noem said, that he was brandishing a gun. At any point, do you have any evidence that, yes, he had a gun on his person? Was he brandishing it? Was he a threat because he had a gun in his hand that put law enforcement in danger?
Dana, we heard the law enforcement officer say gun, gun, gun. So at some point, they knew there was a gun. So again, that is going to be part of that investigation as to what was happening on the ground there between those victims, the Border Patrol agent victims, and the suspect.
Both the police chief in Minneapolis, O'Hara, and Governor Walz say Freddie was legally licensed to carry a concealed weapon. So are you saying it's not okay for him to exercise his Second Amendment right, not to mention his First Amendment right to be there in the first place, but his Second Amendment right to carry a gun? And if you do, you can be shot by federal law enforcement?
No, I didn't say that, Dana. I never said that. What I'm saying is we respect that Second Amendment right, but those rights don't count when you riot and assault, delay, obstruct, and impede law enforcement officers, and most especially when you mean to do that beforehand.
How do you know that?
When you mean to do that beforehand, when you show up to an active crime scene, don't leave the crime scene and you're armed, then you've got the decision-making process for that individual doesn't seem to be very good. Now, back to the Second Amendment, what you're saying about the Second Amendment is peacefully protesting with firearms. Absolutely, I've done that myself and fully support that, but not when you perpetrate violence, obstruct, delay, or obfuscate Border Patrol in the performance of their duties in an
There is
active
no
crime
evidence that
scene.
he was perpetrating violence. And there's no evidence, unless you have it, and we'd love to see it if there is, that he was intending to massacre.
I'm telling you, man, it's just they can kill anybody they want. And it's very clear that they're not going to back down. So if all you got in counter to this kind of shit is to just say, please stop, please stop, please stop, over and over again, then they're just going to keep doing it.
Enforcement, other than the fact that he was there
We
and
need
he had a gun
punishments.
lawfully.
We need punishments. We need punishments.
He meant to be there beforehand. Again, Dana, he came there beforehand.
How do you know that?
For a reason.
How do you know that?
Because he was there.
But all he
Because
was doing
there.
was filming
It's
and
very
documenting it, which is legal. He was carrying a gun, which in Minneapolis
I didn't
is
say
legal.
it wasn't. And I didn't say it wasn't legal.
So
but
then what did he do that was illegal?
Assault federal law enforcement when he does that. That's an active law enforcement crime
Where do you
scene
see in the video that he was
decided to enter into?
Where do you see in the video that he was assaulting law enforcement? Because from everything we have seen, law enforcement was assaulting him
Oh my God.
when he was there trying to help another individual.
Dana, law enforcement doesn't assault anyone. Follow directions of law enforcement. Follow directions of law enforcement in an active crime scene. It's very evident he didn't want to do that. Very evident that the other individuals didn't want to do that. And, it's too bad the consequences had to be paid because he injected himself into that crime scene. I can't say that enough. He made the decision to go there. We didn't make the decision to talk to him. We didn't even know that individual was in existence until he came into that crime
I want to
scene.
go back to video number 1 because you keep saying that he injected himself into the crime scene. He was a guy on a street filming an operation. He was far away. He wasn't on the crime scene. And what I want you to see again is that law enforcement appears by the video we have to be approaching him and the person who is next to him, not the other way around. And so what I want to know is, what evidence do you have that he went after?
Bro, every now and then I see these motherfuckers actually do like real contentious reporting. And for a brief moment, I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome. But then I'm reminded, like, so you have this tool in your tool belt, you just choose not to fucking use it, you know? Like, it's not like this shouldn't be a unique incident. I want to take the W, and I will take the W. It's great. I'm glad that Dana Fash is doing the right thing in this situation. They see the tide shifting, and that's great. But, like, why don't you bust this open more frequently? They only have this level of smoke for, like, Bernie. You know what I mean? They only have this level of contentious reporting prowess when it's someone who's like, we should just not give unlimited funds to Israel and instead, I don't know, fund healthcare or something. And they're like, wow, how dare you say that? How will we pay for it? You're right. It's a shame that you could literally apply this level of New York Times criticism to Israel, but twice since the start of the year, federal officers have gunned down protesters in Minneapolis with cell phone cameras rolling, and twice Trump and his lieutenants have essentially told the American people, don't believe what you see with your own eyes. It is kind of wild to see the New York Times do this when, you know, when Israel does it, they literally will go, don't believe your lying eyes.
After law enforcement.
Sure. The fact that he was standing in the middle of the road, there was interaction between him, the bystanders, and law enforcement, and again, follow directions of law enforcement. He doesn't need to be in the...
It is kind of strange to me that Bovino is operating like he's a free man, though. Like, he's moving like there will be no punishments. We can't be letting these guys feel and act like that, okay? I'm sorry. Like, what the fuck? I do think this is, again, a little bit on the Democrats. Like, they're not even entertaining mobilizing people around, like, what kind of punishments they'll dish out for every single one of these pieces of shit, these Nazi cocksuckers, you know? They shouldn't be so comfortable, I think.
Middle of a crime scene.
He won't be seen in the crowd, so we can't catch him? No, actually, he will be seen in the crowd. You want to know why? Because he has a specific Praetorian guard of manlets that are shorter than him. I've seen it. Like, he has a Praetorian guard of like 5'3" people, so that he, as a 5'4" guy, looks taller in comparison. Straight up. That's real. Look it up.
Dan, I don't think you would want to be in the middle of a crime scene, or you would want civilians in the middle of a crime scene injecting themselves.
Yeah, bro, it becomes a crime scene when ICE is there. That's kind of the problem, don't you think? That's the whole problem. That's the only problem. These streets are not crime scenes before you got there, before your thugs got there. This cannot be the principled stance where, listen, wherever my agents are, it's a crime scene because they'll kill people, okay? And that's just what it is. You just have to move out of the way. You have to run around. You have to run away. You see him, you got to run away. We'll kill you.
Into something that is none of their business at all.
Can you also just answer the question about the gun? Because, again, do you have any evidence that he was brandishing his weapon? Did he ever have his hand on the weapon?
Yeah, again, the officers on the ground, in that melee, we hear gun, gun, gun. So that gun, at some point, became visible to officers.
But could it have been because they had him on the ground and maybe his shirt came up and they saw that it was on him? That doesn't mean that he was.
And that is why we have an investigation, Dana.
Fine.
That is what we are investigating. You're not going to know that now, and I'm not going to know that.
I think an
now.
investigation is great, but the Homeland Security.
Dude, I love when these guys also go, well, that's speculating. What you're doing is speculating, which is quite different than my speculation, which is right. You should speculate in the direction that I'm speculating in, as opposed to speculating off of what you can see with your eyes and hear with your ears. Okay? That's literally it. He's mad because the video very clearly shows one reality, and he doesn't want that reality to be the reality. So he's like, don't speculate now. We'll conduct an investigation. It's like, bitch, you're the one who's speculating.
So fucked up. This country is so fucked up.
Both parties are speculating in either direction. I think Dana Fash is speculating in the correct direction.
Secretary said he was brandishing a weapon.
Brandishing the weapon.
We haven't seen.
Hassan, this tweet is coming back.
He brought a semi-automatic weapon to a riot, assaulted federal officers.
This police officer is so bad.
Bro,
This guy.
they're doing
This
all
guy.
the shit that fucking gun guys hate, by the way. Okay? Not only is this like fundamentally an anti-2A position, obviously, like, oh, you have a gun, that means you can always be killed. But he's also trying to do the this is something that liberals do, man. Liberals would be calling a fucking handgun it is a semi-automatic weapon, yes. But you're making it seem like it's a much less common piece of gear than it actually is, okay? Like, it's a 9mm handgun, and you're like, oh, it's a semi-automatic weapon of mass destruction that he brought to this field of battle with one goal in mind.
Oh my gosh.
It's an ICE-issued firearm. He's making it seem like this was a tactical nuke. Isn't this exactly what gun guys hate, by the way? Like, gun guys hate when you call an AR-15 like a long gun, like a long barrel rifle, right? They're like, wow, what do you mean? It's just fucking, you're just trying to make it scarier than it actually is. It's like, that's exactly what he's doing. It can still kill an ICE officer, though. So can a heart disease. True.
They saw that weapon. So I do believe the secretary...
Like, what's the argument? It can kill an ICE officer? Yeah, that's what guns do, okay? So what is the point, then? Then there should be no Second Amendment. Is that your argument? Are you anti-2A now? Are you Mr. Anti-Gun now? What's going on? Are the Republicans licking so many fucking boots that they've decided actually the one thing that they would stand on normally, it turns out they're not on board with at all? Like, even the fucking NRA is against them. The sentiment from the first assistant U.S. attorney for Central District of California is dangerous or wrong. Responsible public voices should be awaiting a full investigation, not making generalizations and demonizing law-abiding citizens. If you approach law enforcement with a gun, there's a high likelihood they will be legally justified in shooting you. Don't do it. Everyone knows the NRA is Antifa. I mean, the reality is, like, they are trying to find like a Asmongold style middle ground here, where they like obviously have to be the pro 2A institution, but they obviously can't fucking aggressively criticize the government too much, right? They have to say yeah base, but there's only so much yeah basting you can say in this circumstance. They're gonna start calling it an assault pistol. Yeah, it's specifically an anti-ice assault pistol.
Is 100% spot on in what she said.
Seeing
Why would
a weapon.
you bring a weapon and assault a federal officer if you did not have intent to harm or delay or obstruct that federal officer with a weapon?
You keep saying that he assaulted a federal officer, but again, we have not seen evidence that that happened. It looked like he was on the defense, and again, he had a gun legally. It sort of feels like we're in the upside down, where we have law enforcement and conservatives who are very pro Second Amendment saying the problem was that he had a gun legally.
No, the problem is, as I said several times now, is he injected himself. He put himself where he did not need to be. He put himself in and put law enforcement officers in jeopardy through his actions. These were his actions, not law enforcement officers' action. We had to react to an individual that came there for a specific reason. And again, what that reason is, we're going to find more out about that in the coming days. I'll be interested to see what his reason for being there,
What-
while Border Patrol agents were arresting a violent, criminal, illegal alien doing their lawful, ethical, and moral duties in Minneapolis.
Yeah, they also, like, this is another one of the major lies that I despise, that I routinely talk about, routinely address, but like ICE has no operational capacity to fucking apprehend, like, you know, criminals in the process of doing crimes and shit like that. That's not their job. That's not their jurisdiction. Their job is to apprehend people who are in violation of civil offenses, okay? The real, like, the real criminals that they apprehend, they get from the prisons. So whenever you hear the worst of the worst, when Trump is talking about the worst of the worst, those are people who are in prison. As in, those are people who are undocumented or documented migrants who have done a heinous crime. And lo and behold, and it might be really shocking for a lot of people, the American law enforcement have arrested them. American prosecutors have investigated and set up a case against them. The American courts have found them guilty of these crimes, and now they're actually serving the time for the crime that they've committed. That is who those people are, the worst of the worst, that Trump always loves talking about. Those are the people that ICE goes after to pad the stats to make it seem like they're actually apprehending these like criminal migrants that are an ever-present danger. And the reason why I say it's padding the stats is because those people are not criminals that have done a crime this year or last year or the year prior. They're apprehending people from the prisons. They're taking people out of the prison system that have been in prison for like 10 years at this point. You know what I mean? Just to say, look at how many people are doing crimes.
That's the question.
Well, but the question is also, why is an American citizen now dead for the second time who was there to document, in this case, and clearly to be there as a bystander, which is his First Amendment right.
He wasn't there to clearly document it. Don't socially engineer the topic, Dana. He was not there to document.
Appeared
he
to
came
be.
there for
That's
a reason.
fair. Appeared to be.
He obfuscated and delayed officers there on the scene. That's pretty evident to me.
I want to ask you about your agents. You said that this was a highly trained agent who had been serving on Border Patrol for 8 years. What was he trained for? Because these are your Border Patrol agents, and they're now in the interior of the country, in American cities. Was he trained in urban policing?
Yes, all of our Border Patrol agents are trained in all for all types of environments, including urban policing. This particular Border Patrol agent had 8 years with some specific skill sets there with both firearms and less lethal munitions. Also, let's take a look at the training and the environments that Border Patrol agents operate in. We operate in places like San Diego, California, Tucson, Arizona, New Orleans. All those have Border Patrol sectors. Detroit, Michigan. We've got Border Patrol sectors in Buffalo. So this myth, and I saw this just last night on CNN, this myth that Border Patrol agents don't work in urban areas is just that. It's a myth. We're well adept at urban areas, conducting that Title VIII immigration enforcement wherever we go. It doesn't matter if it's a desert or an urban environment. We're very well adept at doing that.
Is the agent or agents? Is it your understanding that more than one agent fired a weapon at Alex Preddy?
Again, that's going to be part of the investigation. I'm not going to speculate on how many
plays a
shots,
big
who
part
shot,
in the
Okay.
diamond trade.
because I don't.
Fair enough. I guess we can't buy a diamond here.
Even though it produces the most diamonds in the world, Botswana has one of the poorest local diamond markets.
Yes.
It's crazy
They're,
that iShow Speed is
these
like
Border Patrol
teaching the
agents
next
are,
generation. This is exactly what happened in China
more than
as well.
likely
There's a
on
lot of like
administrative
teens
duty.
that are like, oh my
But,
God, I thought
they don't
Africa was just like mud huts.
What does that
I
mean?
can't
So they'll
believe
be
that
off
it's
the
like
streets for a
this beautiful continent full
no,
of,
in Minneapolis
developed
they will,
nation states.
but
And it's
only in
crazy that people
Minneapolis.
even thought that that wasn't the case. But then also, low-key, he's
Okay.
just like
And before I let you
educating
go,
his
kill
fan people in base Maine on, now, you know,
know?
colonial exploitation. Awesome. Thank you. Take a wild guess who owns the companies that They are allowed to sell their own diamonds too. Let's be real. Israel plays a big role in the diamond extraction process. Okay. If you've been doing this is not your first fucking rodeo. A lot of similarities with the way that local law enforcement operates
I want
here.
to button up one point that you were making about what Alex Preddy was doing there. Do you accept that it is the law that an individual has a right to film what law enforcement is doing?
I believe that all citizens of the United States have those First and Fourth Amendment rights as long as they do so peacefully and don't.
No, you don't. He literally does not believe that. Like, fundamentally, the entire job of an ICE agent falls apart when you recognize that every American has a Fourth and First Amendment right. Okay? That is the biggest lie he has told so far. As a matter of fact, this interview is being conducted in the aftermath of a person's Fourth and First Amendment rights being violated so ruthlessly and being killed in the process.
Delay, obstruct, or assault anyone in doing that. And that's the issue here, because he was not peacefully doing anything.
All right. And just for the record, and we've seen this video multiple times from multiple angles, there is no evidence that he was doing anything other than being peaceful until the altercation began. Again, I look forward to seeing the other evidence in the investigation that you have, because we do want to get to the bottom of this and do want to get all of the facts as they actually happened. Chief Favino, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being here and answering questions.
Thank you, Dana.
He didn't answer any question, just fucking shit talk.
Fucking Nazis, man. Also, yeah, the 7 House Democrats who voted with Republicans to fund ICE got burned by the rotating villain strategy. Hakeem Jeffries told them to take this unpopular vote and take the heat from the base, expecting someone else would play this role in the future. But on Saturday, ICE killed Alex Preddy. Now, no Dems in the Senate want to be the rotating villain. They're not funding ICE, leaving 7 House Dems to hold all the blame. The 7 are freaking out because they were supposed to be rotated out of the villain role, but history froze and they're stuck as the bad guys. This strategy worked while Kirsten Sinema confirmed the RVS when she killed the original Build Back Better, saying many Democrats are hiding behind my skirt, admitting many Dems were only voting yes to Build Back Better to look good. But this time, no one wants to be rotating in, leaving Ezra Klein's favorite Democrats branded as fascist collaborators. And it serves them right. History will scorn them as fascist collaborators, according to other centrists who think they can avoid consequences. It's true, by the way. That is precisely what happened here, and that's why I'm so fucking critical of the Democratic Party. They think they can get away with this fake bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, dude.
We're talking about something very serious today. Throughout the video, you're going to see my shirt changes. It's not some...
Alright, let's hear what Normie Jesus had to say.
...kind of like crazy, wacky, you know, magic trick from America's Got Talent or anything. I actually filmed this video earlier this morning when the story first broke. It's the killing of Alex Preddy in Minnesota at the hands of border agents. And I made the video, but I was pretty heated and I wanted to kind of simmer down and take a break, so I went out before posting it. I just got home, and now even more angles and videos have been released that show beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a 100% unjustified killing of an American citizen here. And it seems like the execution stems from them finding out that he had a gun on his person. His Second Amendment rights. In all of the videos that exist, there is not a single moment where he is reaching for the gun, brandishing it, threatening with it, or anything at all, and we have video that shows the entire interaction from start to finish. His name was Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old nurse who worked in the ICU at Minneapolis VA healthcare system, and according to the police chief, he is a U.S. citizen with no prior interactions with law enforcement outside of a couple of traffic tickets, and believed to be a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. So for him to lose his life being shot multiple times by these agents, all because of him exercising his Second Amendment rights, which again, he wasn't trying to use as an intimidation tactic on the officers or anything like that. When they were beating him on the ground, pistol whipping him on the ground, they happened to see that he had a gun, apparently. He wasn't throwing it at them as like a threat or something, or brandishing it or anything. He simply had it on him, which he was well within his right to do, and he got murdered for it. This is completely unacceptable, and the fucking drones that are somehow like parading around like this is some kind of victory or something is sickening. It should be viewed as treasonous by any real Americans when you see this footage. And they had the gall to say that Alex Preddy was like the instigator, labeling him a domestic terrorist I saw from a couple of places, claiming that he approached these agents with a 9mm. He approached them with a gun looking to start shit. But that is not true. In all of the videos you see, he has a phone in his hands. Not a gun in his hands, he has a phone in his hands. No sane person would ever mistake a phone for a gun. This is blatantly obvious what they're trying to do. And it's something they've been doing a lot recently. Trying to tell you that what you're seeing isn't real. Trust their words, not your eyes. That is completely fucking outrageous. And people are willingly doing it. That's the craziest part. There are people that are like, oh, I saw he had his phone, but if they say it was a gun, well, that must have been a gun. I cannot believe we've reached this level of brainwashing. There are so many angles of this, and in every single one of them, you can see he has his phone in his hand, and at no point during this interaction did he ever, like, pull a gun on them or anything. And in fact, in one of the angles, you can even clearly see that the agents actually took the gun from him prior to him being shot. You can actually see what looks to be one of the agents disarming him, taking the gun out of its holster and running away with the gun prior to him being shot.
Does he show? Okay. I'm glad that Charlie's making videos like this. I really am, because he commands such a massive audience. He is very influential with such a massive audience, and I do think that there are still people even in his community that are like also Asmongold fans and shit like that. Like, no one in my fucking audience is like, when they see something like this, they're gonna go, oh, I don't know if that's the case. This is why his perspective is, I think, more important than mine. You know what I mean? Even Philip DeFranco is not the same. Like me and Philly D have a similar audience. Oftentimes there's a lot of overlap. Charlie does have a very different reach. So I'm glad that he's standing up.
And if that wasn't definitive, there is something even more clear that I think is completely irrefutable for anyone that's actually looking. An agent takes Alex's gun out of its holster in front of the agent that pulls out his gun and shoots him. So he can see the gun has been taken out of the holster. And it is clear Alex Preddy has both hands on the ground. He does not have a gun in them. And an agent reaches in and takes it out of the holster right before another agent pulls out his firearm and shoots him in the back. Just in case you somehow missed it, look, the agent in gray has his hand on Alex's weapon, which is still holstered. It was never unholstered. This agent takes it out of its holster before he runs away with it, and the officer right next to him is the one that pulls out his gun and shoots him. And now I want to show you the clearest video that shows everything that happened here and how it doesn't go how the authorities are saying that it did. That was Alex Preddy you saw walk by the camera right there. He has his phone in his hand, and then with his other hand, his open hand, no gun in it, is waving cars through. There is clearly no brandishing of a firearm here. He is not approaching agents with a gun or anything like that, and you will never see anything even remotely close to that happen.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
In this section, you can again see Alex Preddy has his phone in his hand, and now he's trying to get some of the civilians away from these fucking worms that are now starting to push them. And then one of them got pepper sprayed, and then he got pepper sprayed as well. And when he gets pepper sprayed, you can see his hand shoots in the air like a student about to try and ask the teacher a question. It is a wide open palm, there's no weapon in that hand, and in his other hand is still the phone. There is no gun anywhere here, and now this is when he starts getting beaten by the multiple officers there.
The fuck, people? The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly.
I'm gonna stop the video right here because this is when Alex Preddy gets shot to death. This fucking subhuman coward, you can see, pulls out his firearm and shoots him in the back, and then shoots him multiple times after as Alex Preddy lies on the ground. You can hear one of the agents says gun, and that's when this brain-dead troglodyte pulls out his firearm and starts shooting into Alex while he was still surrounded by his boys, mind you. This is like the antithesis to all training that agents go through, by the way, to shoot into a suspect while still being surrounded by authorities. You're going to get your own people shot too, by the way, you fucking moron, you unbelievable homunculus. So he immediately starts dumping into Alex because someone said gun. But the gun, from the other angles we can see, had already been taken away from Alex, out of his holster. You can see one of the other agents running away with it. But again, he was never brandishing this firearm, and as an American citizen with Second Amendment rights and a lawful gun owner by all available information, he was allowed to have that gun on his person. It is not grounds to execute a man because you fucking freaked out and panicked because the guy you were beating and pistol whipping with fucking 5 of your friends happened to be armed. He wasn't using it to try and like shoot anyone here or threaten them. They saw the gun, and then this guy just freaked out and murdered him. Shot him multiple times. This is indefensible. Completely indefensible. And the fact that they even took him to the ground in the first place and started beating him, with one guy pistol whipping him, by the way. In other angles, you can see a guy just like pistol whipping him like he's trying to hammer a nail in with his...
What? I'm so confused by what this person is trying to say. Anyway, let's continue.
His gun. Like, it should have never even been acceptable for that to happen. All Alex Preddy was doing was filming, and then when some civilians started getting pushed, he tried to help. And when one got pepper sprayed, he tried to help. From all available angles and evidence and videos here, it seems to be that's all he was doing. He even made an effort to try and show that he's not like a threat or something. Like he threw his arm in the air, wide open, nothing in his hand or anything. He wasn't fighting back against the officers. He got taken to the ground and then immediately started getting beaten. Like, all because he was fucking filming and trying to help other people around there, it seems. This is so fucking sickening. And the freaks that are cheering this on and parading around like this is something to be celebrated are just scum. You're not even American. You're a fucking drone if you actually think this is a good thing. All you care about is just like sucking wiener from the authorities now all of a sudden. You care more about just being on a team than you do thinking for yourself. It's fucking tragic. It is embarrassing. This is crazy now that I'm seeing people justify this guy's murder because he had a weapon. Wake the fuck up. This is America. You can carry weapons. I sometimes carry a gun in public. I have friends who every day carry. It is your right as an American to carry a firearm if you so choose. That is not grounds for a murder. And based on all of the video footage, all of the available evidence, this guy was not brandishing it or anything like that. Thus, he wasn't threatening anyone or about to shoot someone with it, so they had to kill him to stop him. That doesn't seem to be the case. They're now just using the fact that he had a gun as a justification to kill him. That should be extremely alarming to anyone who cares about 2A. Like, again, him having it should not be an issue. And any real, actual American, like a real patriot, should be arguing for his right to carry, because it is something that we have the right to do, and that should not be a justification for this man being killed by these agents. This point that they're trying to beat into the empty minds of a lot of people that are trying so hard to justify it is that the only people being arrested and targeted by ICE are rapists and pedophile illegal aliens, which is just not the case. There definitely have been rapists and pedophiles that have been...
That's really important. That is a really important point, and I'm super glad that he's bringing this up. Okay, see? That's what fucking nails it for me. Because this part of the conversation, I don't hear from even fucking CNN half the time. Outside of myself and other leftist content creators, I rarely ever see this point get brought up. What he's saying right now is incredibly important.
And snatched up in all of this. And those rapists and pedophiles that have been caught and taken away, that's good. They shouldn't be out there breathing the free air. Great. But that's not all that's happening here. You could also right now march into the White House and arrest everyone in the White House, and you would get a ton of rapists and pedophiles. Why isn't that happening? If the goal is getting rapists and pedophiles off of American soil, thrown in the slammer, taking them away from society, why is it only just walking through the fucking streets of Minnesota?
I have an answer for this as well. Okay, so this is something that I've already brought up many times over, especially today. The only rapists and pedophiles that ICE is actually apprehending are actually rapists and pedophiles that have already been apprehended by local law enforcement and are already serving their prison sentences, okay? They're already in prison. There is no world where ICE is just like going around and being like, wait, there's a rapist here and they're an undocumented immigrant and like they didn't go to jail for doing a rape. Like, okay, we'll go get him now. That would imply that if an undocumented immigrant does a rape or is a pedophile or whatever and gets caught, the government goes, oh, you're a rapist pedophile, but you also happen to be undocumented? Sorry, we have to let you go. That's not the case. That has never been the case. It's completely fucking ridiculous. The only reason why they have any undocumented migrants that they're deporting with a criminal background is because they go to the jails directly. They go to the jails and they deport people before their sentences are done. Which is even crazier. That's what's even crazier. And as a matter of fact, it's sometimes basically a fucking free ride. Like that one guy who did a massive jewelry heist and then turned himself in as an undocumented immigrant. Not for the jewelry heist itself, but the fact that he's an undocumented immigrant. So he was able to evade law enforcement. They deported him. They gave him a free trip back to his country.
Trying to do it. You would get significantly more rapists and pedophiles if you took ICE and brought them to the White House. An administration is actively covering up
Yes.
a massive child sex trafficking
Yes, cook
operation
'em.
and letting tons of evil people get away with this. Tons of clients. So if the
Okay. I have said something erroneous in the past, and I have to correct this mistake. Time and time again, you have heard me say, there's no such thing as a real centrist. Every centrist is actually secretly right-wing, and I've never met someone who presents themselves as a centrist and then you scratch the surface of their point of view and they're like super pro-trans rights or whatever. I'm wrong. I think Charlie is the only person who fucking presents himself as a centrist but is actually hiding that he's more progressive than he actually lets on. Charlie is literally the only one. Every single other fucking person who presents themselves as a centrist says that they're not actually a centrist. There's no such thing, obviously, and they're secretly right-wing. Moist Critical Charlie is the only motherfucker who just lies about being a centrist and is actually left-wing. Like, at least left adjacent. What? You fall in love so fast, man? You're crazy? No. There have been many instances where, I mean, look, he's done the whole, like, fuck Assange shit with, like, the Kayagate controversy. He's, like, talked... he covered, like, the Pokemon cookie stuff, like, things that are, like, very clearly manufactured bait, right? For specific ordained enemies of the right. He does that kind of shit. But he also has consistently defended trans rights, which I've given him props for in the past, both privately and publicly. Uh-oh, Lexi Rose. Uh-oh, thank you for the 50 gifted subs. He straight up is. He is actually like a person who presents himself as a centrist, but is actually far more left than he lets on. That doesn't mean that he's like actually a fucking socialist or whatever. Okay, calm down. Act like a chud, think like a woke. Yeah, that's how he. Yes, act like a chud, think like a woke. Charlie Moist Critical. I need you to understand something. I'm not by any means saying he is the fucking woke fedayeen and he's like you know, a Marxist-Leninist or anything like that. Marxist-Leninist, Maoist, Moist Critical, Maoist Critical. Okay, but he does actually have a lot more progressive tendencies than he lets on with the way he presents himself, and it's something that I find to be interesting. We all know being openly out of the closet as left-wing hurts your viewership and subscriber count. Only being an open right-winger or closet right-winger boosts your viewership via JD Vance Twitter pipeline. Yeah. Uh-oh, Lexi Rose. Uh-oh, thank you for the 100 gifted subs. God damn. We got new Oilers in here. Marxism, Leninism isn't leftist, bruh. You're right, man. What is if Marxism Leninism is Marxist Leninism, if that's not leftist, what the fuck is the left? Actually, what the fuck is the left? He's joking, right? He must be joking. Fed posts worst bait ever is asked to leave the FBI. Oh no. They're cracking the whip out here, dude.
The goal is to get...
Because it's right communism, Lamau. Oh my God, stop. If your argument is Marxist-Leninism has nothing to do with like social justice, even though it does. I mean, Lenin extensively talked about, you know, the impact of imperialism, but and they were very fucking woke. I mean, Stalin rolled back some of that wokeness later on, but they were very woke initially. People don't understand that communists are literally at the forefront of everything that liberals have identified as like key pivotal social justice moments. It's so funny. Like International Women's Day is a communist invention. Okay? The Soviets, one of the major things that they did was create gender equality. They were huge. They were so into fucking feminism. Black Panthers were communists? Yes, they were Maoists. Black Panthers were Maoists. I mean, many groups in the third world were Maoist. Marxism-Leninism was conceived by Stalin after Lenin's death. ML is what people call Stalinism. No. I don't think that's also entirely correct. Or rather, you can still find criticism within the USSR's structure and development and Stalin's actions in particular. Maoists are Marxist-Leninists? Yes, but Maoists are also, they were big fans of Stalin. So it's not like they were huge Stalin dick eaters, let's be real. Nope. Stalin was a revisionist. Yeah. Marxism-Leninism is a term coined by Stalin. That part is true. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because Lenin is a thinker in and of itself. So it's like easy to identify what his worldview is. It's not like a fucking Aristotle situation. Actually, best leader ever. I agree. Stalin was a rad lib. Trot detected. Yes. I know. We have a lot of trots. I've noticed that there's a lot of trots in America in general, and there's a lot of trots in this community as well. Look. I don't think that there's any reason to... I don't even have the left book mentality of no trots in this community. I don't care. I mean, let's say there's many MAGA tankies though. What? Brother, yes, there are socially conservative people that still fucking abide by communism or Marxist-Leninist principles. Okay, yeah. If you believe that being a leftist is just about social justice, then you're wrong. Although I am in favor of social justice, this is the same argument that people present about like labor unions, where they're like, well, labor unions they have a lot of chuds in labor unions. It's like, yeah, that's a lack of labor union education. That's a lack of labor education. That's a problem within the union structure, but that doesn't mean that like labor unions are bad. They're still left, and they are at least closer to the left economic position that seeks to give more autonomy and power back to the workers, and also to anything that takes away from anything that claws back surplus labor value is technically leftist. Or at least in the left position. All right, what am I doing? Let's keep
this
talking
kind
about
of
Charlie.
evil out of this country. Why would you not start with what is provably a spot that has so many of them? Also, that belief of like a secret pedophile ring was a very popular one among Trump voters for the longest time, and now that it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to be real, legitimate reality, they are now just ignoring it. They have been proven correct that there was a huge pedophile ring of these powerful politicians, but because some of...
Take a chance. Do you know anything about Bob Awakian? I got involved in a protest with some people who kept talking about him. Oh my god. Okay, that's a cult. Avoid that one. For sure. Revcoms are a cult. Avoid that one, even though it's like gets confusing because there's like Revolutionary Communists of America, Revolutionary Communists, blah blah blah. Like there's so many different variants, but Bob Avakian is that one is the cult. Okay? They're opportunists. This is why we don't like MLs. Avoid Gonzaloists. Okay, there's like 8 people that are like that. They don't exist. Like, you're talking about like ultras. Bob Avakian is my dad. All right, let's just keep moving.
Their favorite politicians are potentially wrapped up in it. They just want to drop it and forget about it. Absolutely unhinged, by the way. It's crazy. So many people for the longest time were adamant against like government surveillance and Big Brother watching them being a huge concern. Now, plenty of people are welcoming it with open arms and a huge smile on their face. For the longest time, people would be preaching about the importance of the Second Amendment and gun rights. And now...
Yes, I'm a Baltimore Maoist, for those who are asking. Baltimore Maoist, rise up.
Even with this, they're saying, well, he had a gun, which means that's an executable offense. So it seems like they now no longer...
What keeps you from being ML? When did I say? I'm agnostic, brother. I don't care. I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic. I'm left agnostic. Dating in DC, send me a pic of that D. Tell me what moderate means to you per your politics. Have a good night. Be blessed. What? I'm agnostic.
Believe in Americans' right to own guns or carry guns, which was a core component of like the right for a long time, where there was like this big fear about they're coming for our guns. And now the same people that were arguing like to protect that are now arguing against it, saying, well, this guy deserved to die because he had a gun with him. It's a fundamental right of Americans to have guns, gun ownership. You can carry them in public too. Like that, you shouldn't be killed for that. And in the footage here, it doesn't seem like he was brandishing it or anything. And also, the same people that only like a year and a half ago were constantly telling you to question the government, that you can't trust anything that comes out of the government, the authorities always lying to you, are now just willingly, blindly, unquestioningly following anything authorities tell them to believe in, and shut out any and all thought and just have the hive mind think for them. It is crazy because it seems like the only actual belief of some of these fucking brainwashed drones is relentless cock gobbling. All they want to do is swallow boots and penis from the government. So if the administration or the news, which they used to hate the news, but now that the news just parrots points from
government,
big government that they like to
propaganda.
clap their hands at,
Exactly.
like seals, they now just trust all of it all of a sudden, even though there's been no big change with these mainstream media outlets, by the way, that they used to not trust only a year and a half ago. But now, anytime they hear something from the news or anything that comes from the government, they will just immediately accept without a second thought, and then attack anyone else that is saying differently, or even just probing them to maybe think a little bit more about the narratives. Keep in mind, the government themselves are currently not even complying with their own laws that Trump has signed, like the Epstein Transparency Act, where the DOJ is still putting up a fight and are over a month late to compliance with releasing the Epstein files. They are still fighting tooth and nail to not release them, and even recently, only a week ago, outright said maybe there's no court that can force them to order this. They didn't even say maybe. I gave them a very charitable thing right there. They actually said courts can't force them to do this, and that if they don't comply, there's nothing anyone can do. They can't be sued. If the DOJ doesn't comply, go fuck yourself, pussy. That's basically their sentiment. They are not complying with their own fucking laws, and yet people are still willing to overlook that in order to just keep like playing for the same team. It's like it's a competition to
peppered another hundo. What the fuck's going on?
See who can think the least and who can regurgitate enough from the hive mind to be like the biggest super fan of their side. It's fucking despicable. It's actually crazy. This is real sheep.
Dude, no, Charlie is more woke than he lets on, for sure. Especially because he doesn't let on that he is like, I guess, quote unquote political at all, right? He's always been like that. It's just that, you know, there's definitely limits to. He is the wokest boy from Florida. Yeah. He's always been openly pro-labor. He's pro-trans. You know what I mean? It's like, but he, for the most part, does this like balancing act. That's why I jokingly say he's the only quote unquote centrist that presents himself as a centrist, but he's like secretly left wing, even though 99.9% of the time when someone says like, oh, I'm common sense, I'm centrist, I'm apolitical, they just mean they're right wing.
Behavior. I know a lot of these people like to say sheep, sheep, sheep for the longest time, but now they are actually the epitome of that. Here's just a little thought experiment if you can break through the programming for a second. Imagine what's happening in Minnesota was happening under Obama or Biden, where there were masked agents that were constantly surveilling you, and even at times asking for your papers, your documents to prove you're an American citizen. Constantly needing to provide your private information to these masked agents. And these agents also had killed 2 American citizens. What do you think your response would be? Would you be like, oh yes, please, everyone needs to comply with this. This is good, this is what I want, this is what I look for in Obama or Biden?
I'm gonna be honest, this doesn't work, I don't think, on the people who are still deluded, for the record. Like, I don't think anybody goes, you know what, he's right. I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that one bit. No, I mean, Alex Jones is the perfect representation of this. For years and years, he basically said that what is currently happening with, like, you know, federal law enforcement officers coming in and like mass federal law enforcement coming in and like kidnapping people, you know, attack helicopters, all this stuff was going to happen. They're going to chip your brain. They're going to be doing mass surveillance with you know, AI, the automated mass surveillance on everybody, like Palantir. That's literally happening, right? Like all this stuff. And now that it's happening, many of those guys are just saying like, no, it's actually good. We really wanted it. Lexi Rose with another 150. What the fuck is happening, Lexi Rose? Goddamn.
Biden. This is what I'm happy about. Would you be as excited then as you are now in that scenario? My guess would be probably not, because you would rightfully view this as an infringement on your rights as an American. Your Second Amendment right, where apparently even carrying a gun now is a crime punishable by death. Like, this isn't something anyone should be championing for, but because it's become such like a team-focused sport, people delude themselves into thinking that they have to support this, and thus they will abandon all of their beliefs in order to stay on this side. It's crazy to me. I truly don't even know what the solution here is, because people are just willingly, on their own accord.
Oh yeah, this is funny. As a conservative who's consistently voted on the right, I feel like we're being used to usher in something very dark in the coming days, all in the name of peace and safety. I mean, he's maybe there's a shot here. Maybe some are getting it, you know? What is this? Cosmic operations. You just implied I'm racist. Support for Donald Trump pretty aggressively, as a matter of fact. That's Durham operations. Oh, my anarchist turned ML. Yeah. Baristas are not real workers. Baristas are bourgeois. Baristas are part of the capital owning class. And also, Tulsi Gabbard was going to bring about peace and prosperity. No one in the ACB ever supported Trump, you liar. Brother, come on. Jackson Hinkle literally has like 10 quintillion tweets defending Andrew Tate and Donald Trump. I think the shame that you experience, like Haas has defended Andrew Tate.
Okay.
Jackson Hinkleding has defended literally every reactionary. Okay, every single one. We wouldn't have even found one of my favorite new terms, like new ideology unlocked, MAGA communism, if it wasn't for the ACP. And that's awesome, for the record. You never read the MAGA communism article? Okay, alright, dude. Well, I don't read fucking Reddit posts either from like other random people. Like, what do you mean?
Let us see it. Okay, let's go.
Anyway, now is not the time for infighting. The ACP cadres must get back to learning how to do hand-to-hand combat and going on hikes and doing more community organizing. I don't have any issues with that. That's great. Another 150 gifted subs. That's crazy. If you get MAGA on board with communism, go right ahead. Yeah, I don't think they got any MAGA on board with communism. If anything, they got people who thought that they were communists to be a little